I'm here to talk about success. The first rule of success is to have a vision. You see, if you don't have a vision of where you go and if you don't have a goal where you want to go, you drift around and you never end up anywhere. I mean, as you know, I was born in 1947 in Austria after the Second World War. So I was very fortunate that I stumbled on my vision. And I didn't really like Austria when I grew up. I couldn't wait to get out of there. I couldn't see myself becoming a farmer or a worker in a factory or anything like that, even though my parents wanted me to stay there and have a normal life. But that was their vision, not mine. My vision was totally different. I felt that I was born for something special, for something unique, for something big. Then one day I went to school. I remember I was 11 years old and they showed me a documentary about America. There they showed me this documentary, the huge skyscrapers, the high rises, the huge bridges, the 6-lane freeways, and all of this stuff in the same sense of that's where I want to be. I want to be around here and these little farmhouses and little buildings. I want to be in America. One day after school, I walked by a store in the Grace. So I went inside and I looked around and then I saw a magazine. I saw a bodybuilding magazine that had Raji Park on its cover. Raji Park was then a 3 times Mr.Universe. And I saw him on the big screen at Hercules. I read that. I said to myself, wow, this is the blueprint for my life. This is exactly what I want to be. I want to become bodybuilding champion just like Raji Park. I want to get into movies just like Raji Park. I want to make millions of dollars and be rich and famous just Raji Park. Do you know how great it felt? And I knew where I was going. Imagine, the majority of people do not know where they're going. I know where I was going, that I'm going to become this bodybuilding champion just like him. So it was just a question of how do you do this? I was so relieved because when you have a goal, when you have a vision, everything becomes easy. So people always ask me, when they saw me in the gym in the pumping iron days, they said, why is that you're working so hard? 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, and you have always a smile on your face? And I told them all the time, I said, because to me, I'm shooting for a goal. In front of me is the Mr. Universe title. So every rep that I do gets me closer to accomplishing that goal. So make this core, this vision, turn into reality. Every single set that I do, every repetition, every weight that I lift will get me a step closer to turn this core into reality. If you find this content rewarding and inspiring, please do not forget to like, to share, and subscribe. I couldn't wait to do another 500 pound squats. I couldn't wait to do another 500 pound bench presses. I couldn't wait to do another 2,000 reps of set-ups. I couldn't wait for the next exercise. With the age of 20, I went to London. I won Mr. Universe contest as the youngest Mr. Universe ever. And it was because I had a goal. So let me tell you something. Visualizing your goal and going after it makes it fun. You gotta have a purpose no matter what you do in your life. You gotta have a purpose. 74% hate their job in America. Now, this is not much different when you came to Europe. The majority of people don't like what they're doing because they're really not doing it because they didn't have a goal and they follow this goal. They're just aimlessly drift around and then all of a sudden there is a job opening. So they get the job because they have to work. But then when you work, it's a chore, it's work, it's not fun. So if you think about only a quarter that people really enjoy what they're doing in life, that's unbelievable if you think it's about it. So I felt so blessed that I know what I was doing. It's like a medical student that studies and knows he wants to become a doctor, you know where to go. And the same thing is also in politics. I remember that in politics, I had a very clear vision that I'll be the leader of California. That's as far as I could, because I wasn't born in America, so I couldn't run for president. Being the governor of the fifth largest state, I should say the largest state, and the fifth largest economy in the world, was for me really the ultimate title and the ultimate accomplishments of politics. So even though people came to me and said, why don't you go run for the something smaller? You're never gonna make it. I'll run for governor. And then 2 months later, I become governor of the state of California. Again because I had a very clear vision what I'm going to do with California. So that's rule number 1, have a vision. Rule number 2 is do not listen to naysayers. Do not listen to the naysayers. Everything I ever did, the thing that I heard out of people's mouth was, that's impossible. That cannot be done, or no. That's exactly what I heard. And of course, I proved to the people that it cannot be done. So whenever someone said to you, it cannot be done, I heard it. I heard it can be done. When they say no, I heard yes. And when they said it's impossible, I heard it's possible. I'm a strong believer of what Nelson Mandela said, that everything is always impossible until someone does it. Well, I'm gonna be one that say to myself, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna to show it to them. Maybe it has never been done before. That's perfectly fine with me, but I'm gonna to do it. And I didn't listen to the naysayers. It's all about the hard work that you put in. I said, I must say, if in bodybuilding I work out for 6 hours a day, I'm gonna do the same things now for acting. And of course, I went to the college to study English. I studied the accent removal, acting classes, and all of this stuff all day long. I worked and worked and worked, and within a short period of time, I made one movie called Hercules in New York, which of course went right into the toilet, but I didn't discourage. It still had the same vision. And then all of a sudden, I did Streets of San Francisco. I did Stay Hungry and Pumping Iron and The Villain. And then all of a sudden, I was asked by Dino De Laurentiis and the Universal Studio to star the Conan and Barbarian. And after I did Conan and Barbarian, the director at the press conference said to the press, the director was John Milos. He said to me, the press, if we wouldn't have had Arnold, we couldn't have had to build one. So think about it. The very body that they said can never be sold because the time is wrong. A few years later, I'm doing Conan and the Barbarian. And it was #1 hit at the box office when it came out in the summer of '82. Think about that. And the director says, if we wouldn't have had his body, we would have had to build one. So all of a sudden, my body become an asset, not a liability. And the same things with the Terminator. After we were finished filming Terminator, Jim Camera said to me, the press, if the Arnold wouldn't have had that accent and talked like a machine, we think the movie wouldn't have worked. So think about it. The body and the accent that they had attacked was an asset. But I didn't listen to those listeners. I didn't listen to them at all. It's just the reality of it is that you cannot listen to the naysayers. So this is a very important lesson for all of you. So when someone says, no, this is a stupid idea, you in mind, you don't have to say it, but in your mind, just say, this is you. You're an asshole, or do you know?